Hi, this is Ameila and Elizabeth from twinmusics.com. We are here with Glenn from Shotgun Mistress. Thank you for having this interview with us today. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you very much for having us. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Awesome. And how's everything been with COVID and stuff? Let's start off with the elephant in the room.
Yeah, well, you can't get a big enough elephant, really.
Yeah.
This thing's off its tits. I mean, it's just like, we're just the days of, having people around just for a couple of beers, even. It's a day of, I just can't wait until we can just at least go out and go to a pub, even if it's only with 10 people. I don't care. I'm just so looking forward to going out and seeing friends, because it is like you may as well put one of those security anklets on me and I'd be feeling the exact same way. But, nevertheless, we're still playing rock and roll, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, the crazy thing about that is it was Western Australia were actually talking about that, and I was like, what? We're not criminals. That's insane, right?
You're kidding me, were they really?
Yeah, they were like thinking about putting ankle bracelets on people that have come back from like overseas for 14 days.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
A new album as well, so what can fans expect?
Oh, well, we've got, bringing out the 13-track album as a debut album. We thought we'd just, put as much into this first album as possible. Obviously, first impressions count, so, it's just balls to the wall, just hard rock and roll. I mean, there's literally classic rock style. There's only one ballad on the whole album, so everything else is pretty in your face and upbeat. So, yeah, I mean, we're a few singles in now, and we've got another single to release next month, which is Collide, which is a cracking track. And then the album's probably going to drop start of the year.
That's awesome. And what was your writing and recording process for this new album?
This is actually a relatively streamlined process. I mean, I'm in a few other bands, and being in bands in the past, each sort of act has their own, way of writing. And I think with us, it was just really simple. Matt, the guitarist, and I have known each other for years, but haven't really played in bands with each other since we were like 17, and we're in our 30s and 40s now, and he just pretty much brought everyone together because he knew all these other guys, but I didn't know anyone. And the writing was just, he wrote the guitar for each song, and then he gave it to the drummer to just play drums. They just record it in a live room, and they give that rough the lyrics and the melody over it, and the bass player would do his part, and it was really streamlined, so we didn't really need to be in each other's pockets for it. And it was just, I'll do my part, you do your part, and then we end up over a few months writing a whole album. So, really excited. That's
cool. So how did you meet each other then? What's the story behind it?
Well, Matt was a boyfriend of my bass player back when, we were like 17, 18.
Yeah.
And then he went off and did huge things in Europe. He's big metalhead. He was the guitarist for Berserker, for Bremelin, Akakok, huge metal bands, and toured Europe and lived over there for like 10 years. And then he came back and literally moved in a couple of blocks away from where I was living at the time. And that's how sort of this band started. And I met the other two because of Matt bringing them on from other bands as well. So it was just a mishmash of Matt's entire life, and it's sort of his love child brought together.
And how did you come up with your band name?
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. And you know what? For such a long time, I've been trying to just, even if it's a massive freaking lie, just to think of something amazing to say, and say, well, it's because, this chick walks in on my mate's, mate with his girlfriend, and had a gun, and nothing like that. It was literally just a cool name. I wish there was something better for it, but there's not.
It's definitely memorable though, so it's not like
it was at the top of the list for a reason, but at the same time we've got terrible taste in names. So I think with the album itself, I think we're just going to leave it as a self-titled album, just purely because there's nothing really sort of standing out at the moment. I mean, open to ideas, girls. If you've got any ideas, please shoot it over to us. You can be like a human band name generator or album name generator.
I think they have those on the internet.
Yeah, but they're crap, hey. I've tried. And, I mean, I'm sure so many other bands have tried it as well, but, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I reckon if something that means something pops up, then we'll probably use that. But I think we've done our dash with just putting out names for no bloody reason at all, so...
I think these days you can call your band, like, literally anything, and it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. And especially a lot of these sort of new wave bands as well. I mean, they've got, you know, some band names are like 2 sentences long. It's insane.
Yeah, but then it's bands, it's like, how do you remember that name?
Yeah. Totally. And I think getting a good name is one thing. Getting a good name and having it not sound like another band is really hard. Like, you've got, you know, Velvet Revolver, Velvet Underground. There's about 5 different Velvets, and like it's hard to sort of, you know, differentiate between all of these similar sounding acts. So yeah, I think Shotgun Mistress just sort of was there because we hadn't really heard much of it. I mean, closest thing is anything to do with guns, really. But
yeah.
I mean, I think we're separated enough from those.
As long as you bought your name, I think that's all it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I think a lot of band names as well. You've got say bands like Foo Fighters and everything, and there's band names that are horrible, but the moment you relate their music to the name, it kind of makes sense, and
yeah.
it kind of grows on you, and then you don't even think about, oh, that's a shit name. Yeah.
No, and everyone's just wearing the merch with it on, so who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I watched your video for Glorious Machine. It's really interesting. So, can you tell us the idea behind that and the story behind it?
It was so Spinal Tap, because anything that could go wrong that day did.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I mean, we all had a massive laugh over it, but we actually lost half the footage due to a corrupt SD card.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it was a $500 SD card. You know, bought new. Like, these things never fail. And
yeah.
It's when we tried to, we shipped the SD card up to Sydney to try and get the remaining footage off there, and they said, you know, this happens so rarely that like there's no way to get it off, because there was no point in them investing their time and money into having some sort of fail-safe that, you know, this would get fixed, because it's such a minute amount of cases that this happens, and it was just unfortunate that we got dealt the wrong card, if you will. But yeah, the actual video clip itself, it was just the song itself is based on like tips, and you know, a lot of people have been through that, obviously, and you know how, you know, on good days it's freaking amazing, on bad days it's, you know, just the pits. But you know, we kind of figured, you know, getting the whole, you know, chicks involved in doing the music video and making it look really tacky, I'm like, oh, I'm not so sure about that. It's been done to death, and I figured, you know, screw it, why don't we just dress up like fangirls of each other and just take the piss a bit, and you know, like sort of Foo Fighters do, and like Learn to Fly, and a whole bunch of other, and The Darkness do it a lot too. And I don't know, it was just a lot of fun, and just making it just super tacky. So, you know, just trying to play on that a little bit, and yeah, very lo-fi. but we had a lot of fun with it.
Well, it's definitely memorable, and it's definitely a funny and interesting video, and I think a lot of people will watch it, so...
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. It was, yeah, as I said, it was a lot of fun.
And, so, your song, Save Me From Myself, was number 1 on iTunes, so how did that feel?
Yeah, great. Well, you know, we got, you know, so far with these 2 releases, we've both got number 1 with them, and...
Congratulations.
What was that, sorry?
I said congratulations.
Oh, yeah, thank you, sorry.
No, that's okay.
It's been like 20 years in being a tradesman and being in rock and roll that I just have 0 hearings.
No, understandable.
Congratulations, what did you say to me? It's like, hi, what are you saying? I'm high? You think I'm on drugs? What was the question? Oh, yeah, the number one I chose.
How does it feel?
Yeah, good. It's great. I mean, we're ecstatic. I mean, you can't get much better than number one. So, I think at the end of the day, we're just going to sort of release music that we're sort of happy with, and everything else is a bonus.
Nice. And our signature question is, if you could have any band perform one of your songs, which band would it be? Which song would it be? And would it be in your style or their style?
Oh, totally their style. What song would it be? Probably, there's a track that's coming out on the album. It's actually the only ballad on there. It's called Meishi. And it's a pretty epic sort of sounding ballad. And it's got strings. It's got like choir sounds in it as well. It's a bit sort of Metallica-y, a bit sort of like alter bridgey as well. But I think the band, and I had a long think about this before, and it's got to be something like a Velvet Revolver or an Audio Slave or something, just because there's heaps of bands in the one band, so it's a big sort of super group. I think it's going to be the best case. So in this case, I'll probably say Velvet Revolver, because it's big in we sort of really relate to music like that as well. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm probably Slash then. I mean, Slash's band with Miles Kennedy. Went to their concert last year when they were here in Melbourne. God damn, they were amazing. And it's funny because they're a rock band that don't really put in all their eggs into the basket of like lighting and effects. They will keep their house lights on and just play.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, and they're amazing musos. So yeah, definitely
Yes,
those guys.
I saw that show with Slash and Miles Kennedy. I photographed it. It was a good show.
Oh, did you? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, great, awesome. What, in Melbourne or up in Sydney?
No, Sydney.
Sydney, yeah, cool.
And last question, is there anything else you would like to say to your fans?
If there are any, thanks.
If there are any, well, you came number one somehow, so I'm pretty sure you have fans.
I've got a lot of family. And the good thing is, like, coming from sort of bands rather than solo artists, you've got lots of families. So that's probably where it's coming from. But no, nevertheless, I just really appreciate you guys having us on the show, and good luck with everything. And rock on. Thank you so much.
We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for this interview.
Yeah,
no worries, guys.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll see you